Hi everyone, this is Lisa with Lisa Plans. Welcome back to my channel and Happy New Year. It is Monday, January 6th, and people are coming back from school and back to work, myself included, possibly after like a long break, and things are already moving and grooving. I wanted to come out here and kind of do a more functional video about a planning, I want to say a method, not a system, a planning method that I learned from Becky Higgins. And Becky Higgins is, if you don't know her, she is the creator of the Project Life. It's like pocket scrapbooking card. I don't know if she invented the pocket scrapbooking movement or what, but she's best known for that. But one of her videos, she shows her method of a to-do list. And this method of this to-do list is actually how I learned to plan. So I wanted to show on my channel how I went from just a legal pad. This is how I started planning when I started my job way back in 2011. 14 years ago, and I started my job. The previous job I had before that, I had a manager tell me, you need to get more organized. I never kept lists. I never even looked at a calendar hardly. I know, it's absolutely insane. But there it is, I said it. I did like have an Outlook calendar for work that I used, and I might have used a to-do list in Outlook too. But I didn't really become a pen and paper girl until probably 2011 when I started using these legal pads. So when I first started my job that I'm currently in, right now I am a, and forever will be, a computer technician, hopefully for the same company for as long as I can stay there. I love my job, and I'm so glad that I went to this company. Because the previous job I was doing wasn't for me. It was more like project planning, but this job is way more suited for me. But the only thing is that the job that I took was a lot busier than the one I had before, which is a good thing. I like to work. I like being busy. But that also came with it new challenges to where, yeah, I was very disorganized, and I found out real quick just how disorganized I was. So funny thing is, when I first started the job, I started out in a cube, just about everyone else does. Started out in a cube, but I was in the back row, and there were some legal pads in the cube with some just cheap pens. So I didn't think much of it, but then I noticed that there were scratch notes on there, and there were to-do lists on there. I'm like, I should probably use one of these to just keep a to-do list on. So I kept this to-do list like this. These are some things I might have on my to-do list when I first started working. Just basic things. Like I would have tickets, but there would be people that came up to me or gave me a phone call and said, hey, when you get some time, can you do this? Or, hey, can you get me on your list to just do this? We don't need it right now, but hey, can you do this? Hey, can you do this? It was like a, hey, can you? So like, sure. So of course, I would pull out my paper and just put it down, and that was my organization method. That's it. So it's morphed quite a bit since then. It has really I want to say leveled up. But the method that I'd like to share with you today is Becky Higgins' list making method. So of course I'm making a to-do list here, and it seemed to work for several years for me. I only had a to-do list for work. I never had one for personal, which was, now that I look back, I'm like, wow, how did I even function? I think I remember having maybe a pocket calendar, but I don't even know if I used that. Oh, you know what? I think I used an app on my phone, which that is fine. But yeah, I think I did use an app on my phone for a little bit, but it's nothing like what I've learned from Becky Higgins, her method. I will actually link that video below, but I just wanted to share it because I wanted to explain, if you do not plan, if you're coming to my channel and you're like, okay, I've never planned, I have no idea what you're doing, Look at all these complicated setups. I don't want anything to do with that noise. Totally understand. What we planner girls do, they're a little bit seasoned and do all these monthly setups, maybe even bi-weekly setups. It's a hobby. And can we get away with planning without changing up our look every month for our planners? Of course we can. There's plenty of planner girls that do it. But it's a hobby. So all the fun things you see, the bows, the clips, the markers, a lot of it's, this is for fun. It's keeps me interested in coming back to my planner and looking at it and using it. But do I need this? Of course not. I could plan my whole day on this legal pad. Is it ideal? Not really. I'd still probably use a notebook. I mean, if my house burned down right now, I lost all my planner supplies, I would probably go into Target and buy a few things. And I'm going to explain what I would buy here in a few minutes, and I'll explain why and then how I'd use it with Becky Higgins' method. So, to-do list. So sure, I was using a to-do list for several years from about 2011 to 2015. So why 2015? Well, in 2015, my company decided to split our current workspace. We had a warehouse and we had an office. And I also took care of a lot of satellite offices and a bunch of remote workers. And I still do all of this, but I no longer have these offices. They decided to split this location into two. So this warehouse went here and this office went here. So in order for me to function, I needed, and to make this happen for these branches, to turn up 2 circuits, to move all the printers. I didn't physically have to do all this, but I had to go in and configure everything, and do the printers and copiers and whatever. There was a lot of work, a lot of meetings. It was a huge project. Come to find out later on, though, I could have had some more help. And there could have been a vendor that came out to help me. But whatever. I did it all, and I did it all myself. I learned a lot, and it's all right. I survived. So this was a lot of work, and I looked at my to-do list. I'm like, I need a better to-do list than this. I need something a little bit more robust, because I had a lot more. First of all, I had 2 locations to worry about now. And I also had a lot more appointments and just a lot more things to juggle at both these locations for all these people. And yeah, so I'm like, I need something better than this to-do list. What can I do? So I went out to, just like everyone else does, to YouTube back in 2015. I'm like, what can I do to juggle all this mess? What am I going to do? So I typed in a better way to make a to-do list, because I didn't know anything about planning so much. I wasn't a big planner, wasn't a planner girl. I just wanted to be able to make this happen and not lose my mind. So I came across Becky Higgins' video, and out went the cheap pen. This is an extremely cheap pen. It was probably from one of my offices. This is a Bic, who knows what kind of pen. And this legal pad. So out went this. No more. This is probably one of the last times I stopped using a cheap pen to write with. And then a legal pad. There's nothing wrong with these materials, by the way. If that's all you can afford, then you do you. You go for it, and you use your pen, and you better your life. But I wanted to spice it up a little bit. So Becky Higgins' video, she bought a cute notebook from Target. She would buy these little notebooks. I don't know. This is Russell and Hazel. I just bought it at Target back when they had these types of notebooks. I probably think they still do. It's got like a little plastic pocket, and it's a little bit smaller than the legal pad. I wanted something that I could put in a bag because I was traveling a lot more. Come to think of it, I should have gotten gas mileage for everything I did. Oh. Anyway, I digress again. But Becky Higgins suggested that you have a notebook like this. You don't have to have this on top. That's irrelevant. You can use this if you wanted to, like mark off the day, date, and whatever subject. You don't have to have a notebook like this, just something lined or even graph or dot grid, whatever you prefer. As long as it is, you know, this size, kind of like an A5 size. You can also buy something like this. They had these and they even have pockets in them. Just something that you could throw in your bag and is lined is ideal for her method. So I don't even know. This might be like a mead or something. It was super cheap at Target. Yeah. So this is nice too. I used those for a while. They came with pretty prints for a while. I don't know if they still do. And then I went to Barnes & Noble and bought my first pen case. This was my very first pen case. I'm so excited. I was like over the moon with these stationery supplies. And that is what started it all. I was bit by the stationery bug when I got this pencil case. This is from a company called Bando. I don't know if you could see it or not. Bando. They still have stuff like this out there. You've probably seen this logo. I don't know if it's a logo, but it's saying on different things like notebooks and maybe a mug or something. But yeah, Barnes & Noble carried this. I'm like, I have to have it because, oh my gosh, this is the whole reason why I'm buying this. I'm so busy. I'm going to throw myself over a bridge or a cliff or something if I don't get straightened out. So Becky Higgins recommended these, not specifically branded things, but just these things. So I'll explain what she recommends. The first thing is a ballpoint pen, and I'll explain why the ballpoint here in a minute. I only write with ballpoint pens now since I've learned this method. Only ballpoint, and it doesn't have to be like this fine or even this type. Since then, I've graduated to just Unijet Stream pens. I really like those. And Acroballs, I really like Acroball, as long as it is a ballpoint. Has to be ballpoint. I will not write with gel pens. I did purchase a gel pen and quickly figured out I couldn't highlight over it. So that's the reason why I have a ballpoint. So Becky Higgins also recommended, if I can find it. Here it is. I actually have it over here. Yellow highlighter. It doesn't have to be yellow. It could be another color, but something to highlight. But she did have a yellow highlighter in her video, and also a Sharpie. So I'll explain the reason why we need these here. So Becky Higgins' method, she says she starts out on Monday with a fresh slate, so fresh piece of paper. So beginning of the week, she starts out with a fresh paper. You can actually consider this, it's not daily or weekly planning at all. It's just a list that she recycles, and I'll explain that here in a minute. She starts out every Monday with a clean piece of paper, and she starts out by, you know, making some squares, and she doesn't even use these to check off. I'll explain in a minute. And then the top portion of this is going to be work, and the bottom portion of this, going from the bottom up, is going to be personal. So this is work, and you don't have to actually title it, but you can. And the bottom part is personal, going up. So going top to bottom is work tasks, going down to up are personal. And so I would use this method to first think about what I'm doing. Just say on Monday. So install printer. I'm always installing printers. It's like, I wish I had $1 for every printer I've installed. For Anne, let's just say fake names. Denver label printer. And I need to order Seattle. Let's just say 2 keyboards. I do a lot of ordering too. Order hardware. I'm a hardware tech. Configure. I wish I still did this, but I don't configure laptops anymore. Cries. Configure laptop for, let's just say Steve. And install software. This is actually a real ticket from today. Install software for Becca. What else did I do? Oh, yeah. And then David, laptop lockout. Okay. So those are some things that were actually real tickets today for me. And then some things, there's no way I didn't write any of this at some point in my career. Because Denver's always needed something to do with their label printers. They're crazy people out there in Denver. So my personal list, I need to buy let's just say Wesley, my grandnephew, B-Day gift. And I might need to write what, like by, let's just say Friday. And, oh, I need to order my RX, my prescription, and I need to buy, what was it we needed? Not toilet paper. Oh, paper towels. We definitely need some paper towels. This is before I had a grocery list. Keep that in mind. I never really kept a grocery list except maybe one on my fridge. Maybe I used it. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I must have kept a grocery list somewhere because there's no way I didn't have some sort of grocery list. But if there's something I needed to buy that wasn't a grocery item, it went on here. So I think I just bought the same things every week. And then maybe, oh, I need to pay my Discover card. And then maybe I'll make a few more of these. Okay. So it's Monday morning. I got some personal items and I've got my work items. So before this method, what's new for me is this section down here. I never had a personal section to keep my personal stuff together. That is insane. How I think I've already said this already. How did I live my life without a to-do list? I don't know. How do people do it? Oh, I did have an app. That's right. But, I didn't have that app forever. So I don't know what I did, honestly. Maybe I had a to-do list and I just forgot. But no idea. So I'm sure, you know what? I do remember times when I would miss. I would be late to a birthday party because I just went into Walgreens that morning, picked up a card gift and a gift bag and threw it together. That was my life. I hated that. Absolutely hated it. Fast forward to today. That present is already in my Amazon cart, probably already purchased or on its way, gift wrapped, ready to go on Friday night. And then that party's Saturday. I don't have to do anything. Thank you. Thank you, planning. So much better. Oh my goodness. And whatever else goes around that is going to be, choreographed too. It's so nice. So, okay. So next, Becky Higgins says in order to prioritize, she would use a Sharpie marker. So she would just look at her list and decide what is the most important thing, or what are the most important things she needs to do for that day that she can get done. So the most important thing I need to do is, well, David can't work because he locked out of his laptop. So this is real life. I had to do triage for my job. I did figure out who needs what, who's the most important. So David laptop lockout, that's the most important thing. And probably the second, like I would pick maybe two things, three things, depending. If there was that many things that needed to get done right then. Yeah. And this might already be a ticket in my queue probably, but this is just an example in case there wasn't a ticket. Like maybe he's in the office and didn't put one in, which happened a lot. He just needs to get in his laptop. So, and that's pesky label printer out in Denver. They can't get their orders out and they have trucks waiting. So I got to get that fixed. A little stressful? Yeah, maybe. Fun? You bet. I like my job. So these things are prioritized. And now I need to think, okay, what about down here? What about my personal life? Because this is new. I haven't really, thought about my personal life priorities. So what do I need to do? Well, shoot, I'm going to be out of my prescription. So I better do that because I don't want to miss my thyroid dose. And my little nephew needs his gift by Friday, so I better get on the stick and think about buying that. My Discover card can wait till next week, so let's just leave that open. So keep in mind, this is not daily, weekly, or monthly planning. This is just a to-do list, so this is very, very basic. So I have a lot more cards than this, and I would not put them on a list like this. I would put dates and put them on a different, I do it completely different now. But if you're brand new to planning and you need to think about, you know, maybe this is kind of like a weekly thing. You can think about, okay, what's coming up that you need to do and put it on this list. So maybe you have these things already documented on a monthly, your payments that you need to make. So, I mean, that's a possibility. But this is just bare bones, very simple planning. And you're coming from nothing like I did. This will help you immensely. It's such a great system. As you can see, we are highlighting over these priorities with a Sharpie, and because it's ballpoint, it glides right over it. Now, there are some pens that are gel that they'll say that they are highlighter friendly. I have not found one that I like. So I don't know if it's the paper I'm on, or I don't know if it's because I put a lot of pressure when I write. I do write very hard. So that's possible. But anyway, I just always use ballpoint because I highlight over my priorities. So that's why I do this in my planner. So if you see this is the way I plan, you'll know why. This is how I learned to do it. So putting a highlight over something prioritizes it for me. So now the next step is, okay, I finished these things. I actually got David back in his laptop. And also we got that label printer rolling. Also in between there, I got a chance to order those keyboards. And while I was at it, I popped in my Express Scripts account and went ahead and ordered that prescription. So I got some things done. So instead of making check marks here, Becky Higgins just marks it out. I like that too, because I don't want to see it anymore. Once it's done, it's done. I don't need to see it anymore. It's history. Once I fix something or order something, get it done, I can throw it off my plate. I don't need to remember that I did it. That's just my career. I know my best friend Kim. Hi, Kim. I recommended her, in fact, she just bought one, a new Stology. Hopefully she'll fall in love with it. But she purchased that notebook so she could write down her to-dos, but she needs a record of what she did. Like, so she did this for this person on this date, and she needs to be able to keep that somewhere, that record. I'm sure she has a computer and she does it, but you know, we are older women and we like our pen and paper. And sometimes it just works better. I don't know. I like pen and paper. I've tried to use digital and I just couldn't, you know, I'm a computer girl. I love computing. I love technology. It's my life. It's how I make my money. It's how I live. But yet, look what I plan on. It's just a choice. I think I like the balance though of, you know, paper and pen to my computer. I don't know. It's kind of a funny thing. I kind of like lots of technology, but then I like to turn to my notebook and just, you know, feel the paper and write stuff. I don't know. That's me. That's what I like. So we got those things done. We got a few more, and oh, something comes along. Oh, right. Jeff needs a new mouse. His mouse just conked out. And oh my goodness, that's right. Let's see, Alicia, I need to transfer her data. She just got her new laptop. So I need to jump in and transfer her data from the old laptop to the new. And let's see. Oh, down here. Oh, that's right. I need to call the mortgage company. They made a goof with our bill, which they actually did. I'm trying to get my husband to call, but he's dragging his feet. But anyway, so what is the next thing we're going to do? It's not necessarily the most Well, I guess it would be the most important thing. That's how she prioritizes, I guess. But she marks off basically what she's going to do next. I'm at work right now, so I can't really buy Wesley a birthday gift. I was going to go after work. So we're going to keep this open and yellow and highlighted just so I know I need to do it. Maybe I'll do it tonight after work. But up here, I'm still at work, so let's keep on keeping on. Let's see. Oh, we got to install the software for Becca. She can't do some of her work functions. So we'll do that next. That's going to take me a little while. So, okay, yeah, that's done. We just got that done. And then I think you guys hopefully get the idea. We'll do this one next. And, oh, something came along. I need to go out and fix the UPS scale in the warehouse. So as you can see, my to-dos are for someone or for a branch. So for Steve, Jeff needs something, Alicia needs something, for my Seattle branch. So my to-dos take a lot of wording. They're a little bit more detailed. I can't just write down order keyboards because I don't know who they're for. I mean, I'm not going to go back to my list and go, oh, that's right, those are for Seattle. No, I'm not going to remember that. I'm not that girl anymore. I'm not 20. Install printer for Anne. I can't just write install printer because, you know, there's hundreds of people in my company. I'm not going to remember who it's for. So that is why I can't use those Franklin Covey compact day on 2 inserts, because of their to-do list is so short. I can't use those. I have to have a long line for my to-dos. 1, it's how I learn to plan. 2, it's how I need to plan because I need more details. I even do it kind of down here by Wesley, by Friday. I like to have a lot of detail in my to-dos. So yeah, that is why you also see me marking things out. So I no longer use a Sharpie. I use one of these to denote if I've done something, I know it's done. I use this because then I could use the other side of the paper, because this Sharpie bleeds. Sharpies bleed through everything. I don't care what paper you're using. They bleed through a lot of paper. So I'm just like, you know, I'm not going to use a Sharpie. There's plenty of these colors. I use a different color every month just to jazz it up. If it's like fall, I use orange. If it's winter, I use blue. Spring, green. Summer, you know, pink or whatever. There's also like purple ones, and there's all kinds of different colored Sharpies. But if it's yellow, I know that's something I haven't done yet, and it's probably pretty important. I better get on the stick and do it. So yellow is kind of important in my planning world. So it means it's prioritized. So that shows you exactly how I learned to plan. Now once these 2 columns get, you know, full, she will tear out this paper and she will migrate the tasks that aren't done and then just start new and back up. And she will repeat writing these out if they haven't gotten done yet, just to keep a fresh page. I like that. I don't like because this will start to look like a complete mess. And of course, it's my fault that it looks like a complete mess because I'm using Sharpies over everything. That is the one thing about this, that her system, I'm like, you know, her method, I should say. System method, whatever you want to call it. It is a little weird, but I like it. I like getting that out of my brain. I like just focusing on what I can read. So as an example, I'm in a traveler's notebook this month. I can't believe it. So I'm actually in a notebook. This is a Shakespeare Odyssey Poseidon. It is an OG. I absolutely love it. I bought this in 2020. Off Buy Sell Trade. Someone was selling it because they didn't really have Odysseys anymore in 2020 when I got back into notebooks. So yeah, so glad I snagged this. It is like butter. It's so soft. Okay, I gotta quit. When Let me see if I got a page I can show. I don't want to show too many names. Or any names. So this last Saturday, I didn't really do a lot. We were expecting a lot of snow, and but you can see my highlighters in here. You can see my Sharpies in here, yellow highlighter, and you can see that I'm using a ballpoint pen. Although in this particular instance, I'm using my 0.7 Acroball because I'm in love with the 0.7 Acroball. I then got in love with the Unijet Stream Hobonichi Techo pens. They're the 0.5. This is basically the same thing as a Unijet Stream. It is a Unijet Stream. But I love these pens too. But now I'm just in love with that 0.7. So same Unijet Stream ink. Just I like the 0.7 or the Acroball. I like either one of those. Let's see. I should do like what's in my pen case, but this is what I've been reaching for. Acroball, just a 0.7 Pilot. So these three things are what I use mostly. And up here, I'll put my appointments. So as you can see, my planning style has changed. It's, you know, leveled up since the to-do list day. And I will probably do another video on that. Really, you know, I could probably just explain it right here. What I really do is, though, how it's changed is I use of course, a monthly, a weekly, and now a daily. And, you know, that's how I disperse my tasks now, I should say, divvy them out. I should probably do a separate video, but this is my daily, and my daily does not function like this does. So you can see I have this By Wesley Gift by Friday or Paid Discover card. Those go on specific days now instead of just popping it on that list. But if you have no other way to plan, and if you just want something super simple, like if my house burned down right now, lost all my planning supplies, I had to go up to Target to get something, I would probably pick up maybe a Moleskine Weekly, like in the larger size. I think that'd be kind of cool. And then pick up a blank notebook like this one and do this. That's what I would do until I got, like, you know, another notebook and replenish my stuff. And I would probably still buy these same darn pens and markers. Yeah, that's what I would do. And I would make these lists. I might do it a little different where I date this, and that's today, and then maybe, you know, tomorrow. I might do it that way. I'm more of a daily planner now. But if I lost everything, and this is probably how I would plan, you know, just for a little while until I got my stuff back. But because it's such a great method, it really is. And I could probably still like plan this way for work. I don't do projects anymore, at least not for right now. And my days are a little bit lighter. When I was doing the, you know, the building, installing all that, it was nuts. It was absolutely insane. So, I mean, that's just an extreme example. But now my workload's lightened up to where it's normal. and this is just not even a work day. But as you can see, though, that is how I do it. I use the highlighter, and I use, you know, darker highlighter, lighter, yellow highlighter, and the ballpoint. So what a great method to use if you have never planned before. I highly recommend this method, and I will link the video below. If you want to get into planning, and it's not that much more involved than a regular to-do list, but man, does it help. It really does. I mean, who doesn't need to prioritize their to-do list? And separating it out from personal to work really helped me. It was just like an epiphany. After I come from nothing, basically. I came from just this top to-do list without prioritizing anything. I mean, I didn't think to do that. I don't know. It's just very simple, but I think it's also very powerful. way to plan. So if you've never planned before, this could springboard you into other, you know, avenues of planning. At first, I thought I was going to go into a bullet journal after this. And I looked at bullet journal layouts and I thought, okay, that's a little complicated. And that's when I found the Traveler's Notebook. I'm like, I'll try that. And that sort of worked for a while. And then I found ring bound planning. And then I think I really fell in love with ring bound planning for a while. Then I jumped back into notebooks and now I'm just all over the place. Jump, jump, jump. Yeah. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you on my channel. I really have been wanting to do this video forever just to show you how I learned to plan. And if this helps somebody else that hasn't planned before, or maybe you know someone, this would help. I mean, it's a great, great planning method tool to try. So I will link her below and hopefully I'll come back with another video soon. I really want to have my 2025 setup ready to go. I am just not with it. Not with it. So whatever, it's fine. It'll happen. So I will see you guys in the next video.